case that we're working on here in Mecklenburg County. We have some information that we'd like to share with you, and then after we're done sharing some information with you, we'll be glad to take some questions. But keep in mind that there are some specifics that we cannot share about the case, such as specific names of persons of interest, specific information that we have, just because it is still under investigation, and that information is very important to us. So at this time, I'd like to introduce two other officers here with us today. We have Sergeant William Layton and Officer Kristofer Blankenship here with us today. And I can get you those spellings of those names before you leave here today. So at this time, I'd like to call up Officer Kristofer Blankenship. He's going to be sharing some information with you, and after he's done, we will take some questions.
Welcome. I'm Officer Kristofer Blankenship of the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission Law Enforcement Division. As a law enforcement agency responsible for the conservation of North Carolina's native species, the Wildlife Commission's Law Enforcement Division is leading an investigation into an animal cruelty case involving a possum. The investigation was initiated following reports to both the Wildlife Commission and the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department from concerned citizens who saw a video that was first shared on social media on Thursday, April 24th of 2025, in which a possum was doused with an accelerant and burned alive. We have been in contact with the District Attorney's Office to discuss how we will proceed, and this investigation is ongoing. We are grateful for the assistance of CMPD and their officers. We are also extremely grateful for the information received thus far from the public. We would encourage anyone with additional information regarding this incident to use our anonymous wild tip reporting system that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. To send an anonymous wild tip via text, text the keyword wild tip along with your tip to tip 411 or 847-411. Texting wild tip removes all identifying information from a text, so tips are completely anonymous. To submit a wild tip online, visit ncwildlife.gov/wildtip and fill out the form on the webpage. We are aware of rewards being offered by other organizations. However, the Wildlife Commission is not involved in the administration of those rewards and cannot provide any further information. We'll provide an update once more information is available, and thank you again for your assistance in helping us get this information out to the public.
All right, at this time we will take any questions that you may have, but again, I just want to remind you that it is still under investigation and we can't provide specifics into some of the information or persons of interest.
What would these people be charged with when they're caught?
So we're still looking at all possible avenues into this case, but right offhand, felony animal cruelty is a Class H felony.
That'd be the only charge that you know of at this time?
At this time.
Does the suspect have any other history?
So we have persons of interest in the case, and we're continuing to look for new leads.
Do you believe this is the only instance, or there are more that they didn't post?
So we are aware of the second video that's also been surfaced, and we're working to determine if they are related or not. As far as, if there's a recent uptick in the area with this type of behavior, we don't have the statistical data or anything to back that up and can't really speak to that.
I know the investigation is ongoing, but how do you guys narrow in on the area that you're looking for the suspect?
So it comes from the public giving us so much information. So we have a lot of information coming in, and we're trying to review that information and be as thorough as possible before we make a final decision.
I know the investigation's ongoing, but was the address posted at all used to help narrow in on this, on where you are now with this?
Again, there's multiple places of interest and persons of interest in the case.
Were you surprised at all by the community outcry following the posting of the video?
It's something that our agency is taking very serious. It's a heinous act that we're investigating, and it's not an ethical way to take a wild animal. We're diligently investigating this case, as will for any felony case of animal abuse, of wild animal abuse. So the public support has definitely been helpful on our end to gather information. And we encourage anyone that has any eyewitness accounts or any other information to get us that information through Wild Tip.
Is there any concern of how this could escalate potentially?
I'm going to refer to Lieutenant Orre right quick on that one.
Yeah, so as we mentioned before, there was a second video posted, and so our message would be to folks, we obviously would not like for this to escalate, and we don't want this to turn into some type of a viral issue or some type of another instance where people see this and think that it's funny or that they can continue this type of behavior.
As a wildlife officer, have you ever seen anything like this before? Cases like this before?
There have been cases similar to this in the past, so it is something that we have seen, but fortunately it's not something that we see a lot of.
What do you think it says about a person who does something like that?
Well, everybody has their motives behind why they do this, and it's hard to get into somebody's mind to say what they're thinking when they do something like this.
Is this felony animal cruelty?
So there is a couple other options to this. Felony animal cruelty is one of the possibilities, but there are a few other options that we could look into. There's also the possibility of a misdemeanor animal cruelty, as well as some other wildlife-specific charges that we could look at as well. All right, any other questions? Well, again, we want to thank you all so much for coming out. As we mentioned, if we do have any further information in the future, we will be sharing that with the public. We just want to remind folks, if you do have any further information that you think might be useful, to share it to our Wild Tip, Tip 411 at our website, or you can text that information. And thank you all again for coming out today.
You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Servant. Right there on your screen is a press conference from moments ago from the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission. This is following. Okay, so they're actually answering more questions. Let's listen back into this press conference.
Investigation.
It could be possible that it's maybe from a year ago.
We don't know that for sure. That's part of the important part of the investigation, to figure out exactly when and where the video was taken.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all so much for coming today.
All right, so that was a press conference that just wrapped up moments ago. Update in the possum being burned, a very disturbing case, disturbing video that we received into our newsroom last week. So I just want to give you some cliff notes from this press conference. So, and this is what we're learning from North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission. So they are saying they're leading this investigation into animal cruelty, calling this an animal cruelty case involving this possum. Now, reports from Wildlife CMPD from citizens who saw citizens shared on social media. I'm guessing that's the name of the Facebook page. The video was shared on on social media. Now the possum from that video was doused in some sort of flammable liquid and burned alive. They are aware of a second video that has surfaced, and they're working to see if they are connected. They've been in contact with the district attorney and how they will proceed. And this investigation is ongoing. They do have persons of interest, multiple places of interest, and they're looking for, they're thankful, but they're also looking for more info from the public. And they are encouraging anyone else with information to come forward. And they will provide more updates when they become available. They call this a heinous act that they are investigating. Again, I'm reading through some of the notes in real time that we have. So that's sort of just from that press conference that we just played you. Again, this is a developing story. We do have a reporter on that story, and that will bring us updates in our evening newscast. So you don't want to miss those updates. Again,